Sing it. I will not be silent.
I will not be silent.
I will always. I will always worship you. Yes.
Worship you.
As long as I am breathing. Yes.
As long as I am breathing,
I will worship. I will always. Come on. And I will not be silent. Yes.
I will
No.
not be
I will always worship you. I will always glorify you. You're worthy of worship. As long as I have breath in me, yes.
As long as I am,
I will always. I will always worship you. And I will not be silent.
I will not be silent.
I will always worship you. Oh, as long as I am breathing, I will always.
Worship you.
Come on, church, sing it. Here's my worship,
Is my worship,
all of
all of my worship.
Receive our worship today. All of my
worship.
One more time. Here's my worship,
My worship,
all of
all of
my
my worship.
receive my worship,
My worship,
all of my
worship.
Come on, let's give him praise this morning. Amen. 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 You may be seated. You may be seated. One thing that I also forgot to mention is that today is also Level Up Sunday. So if you have an 11 to 16-year-old, every first Sunday of the month, we have a special gathering for them that's parallel to our main service taking place downstairs. So do bring them along. Amen. All right. Well, so today is Charity Sunday. For those of you, is there anyone here who's not experienced the Charity Sunday in our church? Let me see by a show of hands. You've not experienced. Okay, just a handful of people. So many of you will know that we dedicate one Sunday every year in December to shine a spotlight on charities that are doing amazing work, whether globally, whether nationally, or locally to our community and neighboring communities as well. And so today we're going to be hearing from one of those charities. We'll have an opportunity to ask questions. I'm also going to share a few thoughts and also give you some further information on additional charities who are not represented here today, but who we have supported as a church throughout the year as well. So many of you will know also that one of our pillars here at the Cornerstone Church is contribution. We want to find out what great work charities are doing and how we can support, and that's why we take time out every year to do so. We are an outward-facing church, not an inward-focused church alone, and we want to be a blessing to our local communities and the nations at large where we can be. Today, I'm happy to let you know that we have Grace joining us from Aging Well in Lewisham. Yes. And Aging Well encourages over 60s to live fuller, more connected lives through programs that foster friendship and creativity. They are dedicated to helping older people and older Lewisham residents feel connected to their community. And for over 21 years, they have developed programs to encourage mental and physical health and well-being in older people. And to say much, much more than I could do, please help me welcome Grace as she comes this morning.
not used to this microphone because you're holding it down here and I'm used to holding it up there. Okay. So thank you for taking the time out to listen to me today. Pastor Kunle just mentioned about 21 years. And that kind of sort of the date that is on my poster, I only discovered this when I was getting the poster out, this new. I only discovered that the date on there actually is wrong. Okay, so it should be 2000. I think 2005 might have been when we adopted the Aging Well in Lewisham name for our project previously, and we still are registered as Lewisham Churches Care with the Charity Commission. So, but I thought I might say a little bit first about the background, and I have written things down. I explained to a few people this morning, I could talk for England, and you've only got this morning. So, so to keep within time, then I will be sort of looking at my notes. So a little of the background for how Lewisham Churches Care came into being in around the world were the year of about 2000, the turn of the millennium. When checking on this new barrier, as I mentioned, I was surprised to see that it dates the start as 2005. Well, I was involved in the steering group meetings in 1999, so I'm fairly confident in saying that Lewisham Churches Care began in 2000. Finding the funding to employ a part-time project coordinator who was set up weekly sessions in community locations. But where did the idea come from? Why did we set up Lewisham Churches Care, and how come that name? Well, in the 1990s, the church published a big report, Faith in the City, and some of you may well have heard of it. This focused on what were the needs of communities and became the foundation for considerations about how churches and faith groups could respond to those identified needs. In Lewisham, several of the identified issues prompted positive responses. I became involved in two main areas, and you mentioned about children. One was supporting for children for families where parental relationships had broken down and traditional models for some families had changed quite drastically. The response to this need was the setting up of a contact centre for children to meet with their absentee parents in a safe and monitored environment. Sessions were held on Saturdays in a church hall in Sydenham. The other main response was the issue of isolation that can negatively affect older people. There were two initiatives proposed in Lewisham to address this problem, the problem of isolation. One to serve the north of the borough, because Lewisham's quite a big borough. One to serve the north of the borough and the other to serve the south. The one in the south is Lewisham Churches Care. Over time, with changes in access to funding, area boundaries became blurred. So we don't sort of stick to that. As younger people, you may wonder how isolation can become such a problem as folk get older. My opinion is it's down to loss of confidence. Loss of confidence. It's pernicious. It really is. So you may ask, well, how come then? Where does the confidence go? Now, in response to this, I would ask you, what is the nature of your own social networks? How are you in contact with other people? Family? Activities you're interested in? Hobbies? Sports? Music? Church? Or it may be attending college or whatever employment you're engaged in. Most of these activities will provide opportunities for you to interact with other people. It will be interesting to see how the working from home culture affects future generations as time goes on. Believe me, it does not take long for confidence to wane. My personal experience was that within a few weeks of leaving a paid employment in a busy London office, they provide opportunities for people to meet one another. And of course, the big one as we get older is bereavement, the loss of loved ones, relations and friends. It's become a thing now that I've lost a lot of the people that I would be able to say, yeah, do you remember when? Because they've gone. Any number of factors may contribute to an individual losing their confidence. You will have heard the phrase, use it or lose it. Once lost, it can be very difficult to regain confidence. Speaking with people, trying to encourage them to rebuild a social network, you get responses that indicate that it's daunting to them to consider taking up opportunities to engage in a new community activity, even if they really would like to. And it's a difficult conversation to start. Excuse me, but are you lonely? Are you shy? That's one of the barriers that the people that will be doing your phone in will be looking to be sensitive about, because people have their pride. How would you feel if somebody asked you a question like that? Well, at the beginning, when Lewisham Churches Care was developing opportunities for folk to get together, often they would be asked if they would like someone to accompany them to a group for the first time. Groups were set up in various local venues, community centres, church halls. Lewisham Churches Care continues to be the name of the registered charity. Aging Well in Lewisham is the name that most people will know us by. Aging Well in Lewisham is the title of the project that organises the groups. Currently, we have 4 groups each, running 48 weeks of the year. That's like one session a week for 48 sessions, 48 weeks of the year. 3 are based in the Grove Centre in Sydenham, which is a church, providing a musical group on a Tuesday morning, an art and craft group on a Tuesday afternoon, and a gentle exercise session on Wednesday mornings. On Thursdays, we run the Silver Lunch Club in Wesley Hall's Community Centre on Downham. Aging Well is also involved in a monthly session at the South Lewisham Health Centre on the first Friday of the month. So that's coming up this week. This is an open coffee morning session, similar to the experience you might have when you go on holiday.